Everybody right now is heading in the right direction. The only guy right now that's would seem further away is White, and I said that White wasn't going to be back before the break, so that's clear. But Chabot, very good. Falk is doing really well, but we need to wait because with concussions, there's always that possibility of of late reactions. But if it keeps going the way it is, then tomorrow is another day where he progresses, and yeah, more ready. Anderson's doing better. Obviously, Duchesne's is not injured, so he's back 100%. So yeah, so it's a lot of positive news today. So hopefully, I go down and it stays positive.
When you look at that 3-game trip and you played without your number one center, without your number one D, and your number one goalie, how satisfied are you that you were able to get out of there with 4 of 6 points? And you actually, I think a lot of people thought you played pretty well against San Jose.
Yeah, we outchanced San Jose, to be honest with you. If we look at the 3 games, in terms of high-end scoring chances and what we've allowed and what we did, we actually, on paper, statistically, for us, when we look at it, we would have had a better chance to win the San Jose one even than the other 2. We played really well with the other 2 games. And, no, I think our players are terrific. We had a good talk about making sure that we stayed in the moment, that we weren't carrying the results of 8 games, but that we were building on how good we had played during those 8 games, and we came in those games really being in the moment of that day. We clearly feel that we deserve the 2 previous games that we played here, and so we were confident going in, to be honest with you. But it is out west. It is California. We had not been good in the last 3 years. Going in there, and we were missing a lot of high-end players. And when you're looking at their board, there's a lot of big names on their board, and we knew that Anaheim was desperate. We also knew we were in a back-to-back in LA, and they were not. And they had everybody in their lineup. Martinez was there, their number 1 goalie, so they had everybody there. And as you saw Pittsburgh go in there on a back-to-back, they lost 5-2. So it just put things in perspective for us that, we did really well. And what I was impressed by is that we were not intimidated on the road. We didn't get out of whack when, either the opposing team didn't score or it took us a long time to score. We were very calm. And very structured, and I really liked our mindset. We had talked about it and having that type of mindset that we had 60 minutes to win a game, that we didn't have to go nuts in the first period trying to get ahead 3-0. That is not the type of team that we have. This is not the identity that we should have to win a game. And I saw a lot of maturity. If you look at all 3 games, we were really good in all 3 first periods. Like, we only gave San Jose 6 shots in their own barn. The first game in Anaheim, we gave them 5 shots. So, and on a back-to-back, you think, that we'd have trouble the next day. And no, we were really good in the first period again against LA. So I really like our mindset in those first 3 periods that I think it set the tone for the rest of the game, and it made us look like an older, mature team, and that's the look that we had. I think a big part of that is how our young guys played. But Nielsen in the net, having NHL goaltending, let's not kid ourselves, that's the beginning of everything. So we had that, so it was really good. But I think when you look at our lineup, you look on the back end, you got 3 rookies back there, and it would have been easy to be exposed. It would have been hard normally to say, San Jose, you got 3 first lines, so you're going to have to play at some point against those top lines. And I thought Wolanin was terrific, Elijah was terrific, and Yaros was terrific. And what it did is it gave us 3 pairs of defensemen able to deal against everybody. So I think that was gigantic. And, with the forwards, I think Chucky maybe had, I think, one of his best, if not his best game in the NHL against San Jose. He just had 7 shots, but he didn't go in. But he was unbelievable. So him and Balcers, I think, is a bit of a revelation, I would say. We really like him. He's really smart. Everything we've asked him, never had to say twice the same thing, and that's usually your number 1, I would say, criteria for a guy that's going to be able to play in the NHL. It's when you have to say 5, 10, and 15 times the same thing and it's still not kicking in, usually gives you an idea that, you know, it might be a hard time to compute in the NHL. It's the opposite with this guy. Like, it's a bit like Batherson. Those guys are really fast to add on the small things that they need to do to be NHLers. So, and I thought he was very good. So I think, yeah, Balcer's definitely somebody right now that's played well on the road, difficult environment, played well at home, and has piled on the pro details really quick. So he's impressed us.
Thomas Chabot, I guess he does play.
Yes.
How does he change your lineup or your back end with him as a presence?
Well, you know, if we look at the games without Thomas, it's clear for us our puck management was not as good, and it's normal. I mean, you know, you get what you get with a guy that's going to be in the All-Star game. Because he's so good with the puck, because he's so fast, because he's evasive, because he can get out of trouble. You know, it's when you play in the Nashvilles and those teams, that's why they're so good, is that, you know, you can forecheck those teams, but at some point they're going to get it out no matter what you do in the forecheck. And he's that's what he does. He gets us out of trouble. He gets a breakout when another guy would not get a breakout. It's going to stay in our zone. Same thing on a transition. He's going to skate it up, and you know, even power play breakout. Like, he just goes right through people. So those guys that, you know, that's why they're high-end players. They put a wrench in what the opponent's doing defensively, just like when you play Ovechkin or Backstroms and those guys. They, you know, you got a plan, but, you know, they go through your plan just because they're so good individually, and that's what Chabot is. He brings that element that where you transition, so you have the puck more often, you're attacking more often, you're less in your zone because you've got the puck, and that's what a guy like Chabot does. And it's a game of speed, and he definitely has a lot. He's going to be a top end guy, like he already is with the puck now. And to be honest with you, he progressed faster defensively than I think a lot of people expected. But it's because of his attitude. He's just such a good person. He really is. Like, I never have to tell him that he's got to go to the gym. Never have to tell him that he's got to come and do some video, or nothing is ever too much. It's like, okay, I want to get better here. I want to get better. I want to, as fast as I can, play against the better players. But he recognizes where he is. So there's a whole maturity that's behind all of that, you know, greatness right now that you see from him. I mean, it's at this age, it's impressive. It really is. But there's a lot of work into it. And it's not just talent. You know, there's other guys that are talented but don't get it, or they get it 5 years down the road. And right now, we're real lucky that he's getting it now. If you would have asked me 3 years ago, I would have told you, I think it's going to take more time. but no, I think that going back that year, and I think he's a perfect example of doing it the right way. I really believe that. Like, you look at that, you go all that talent. It would have been easy to say, oh no, we keep him, and it would have been the wrong thing because he was not mature enough yet. And just going back gave him that maturity. So, but how come you get the maturity, but it's not with the pros? Well, it's because in his case, he got to go back and be the guy. He wasn't just a talented guy anymore. He needed to be the guy that had the pressure on his team in junior, the pressure on his team with Team Canada, dealing with it, being the top guy, and then coming back the year after, and it was huge. So it's really important, I think, when you look at players' development, and you really have to be case by case, because not everybody benefits from the same things. And so in his case, it really worked out to be good. Just like Whitey, the same thing. You know, it was good. It was really good for him to have a year in the American League, because you could see right now his progression is faster. Some other guys is different. Like but I think Chabot is definitely benefited from one more year of not just coming up here and survive and losing some confidence because he wasn't ready yet. No, it's good on him, good on the organization, basically, and that's why I'm going back that far. It's because I think there's a whole history there, and you know, he's done it. He's the one that's done it, but I think the organization as a whole has done it the right way with him, and I'm so happy that he benefits from that right away.